How to get offers accepted in 2022.
Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
I'm going to cover really quick, which is not going to take long, but it's important right now. It has to do with what the challenges are, which is what we were just talking about. What was it? Yes, I'm talking about right now. I taught this last year. This is a different version. I came up, just updated this based on what I'm seeing right now in the market. The other things still are very important, probably number one most important. That's level 101, this is 202. Right? But I think it's important because why is that, Mir?
That's hard, man.
We're struggling right now. Right? Everyone's struggling right now getting offers accepted because it's super competitive. I have friends across the country seeing the same thing, 30, 40, 50 offers. I saw one in Florida, a lady had her home been on the market for 5 hours, had 113 showing scheduled. 113 scheduled, 5 hours. So we think we have it bad here. It's not as bad as it is in other areas. We just have to make sure that we can adapt.
Right.
And she showed the screenshot of her. It wasn't showing time, but it was their version of showing time. So for me to make sure I can dominate this year, right? The most important piece I have to work on is number one. I mentioned this yesterday. Is I have to work on killing and understanding my limiting beliefs. What do you think that means? I have to understand and work on killing my limiting beliefs.
Like you might not believe it's worth that much. Not worth that much.
3 reasons why. Oh, it wasn't worth it. It's been on the market 243 days. It's got mold in there. It's got all these problems. It's definitely not worth that. Meanwhile, there's 5 offers and somebody else got an offer accepted. Right? So I got to make sure that I understand that the overall piece here, number one, of this, the past, doesn't matter. Why? So if chicken's up double, houses are okay to be up more than they were before. So here's the thing. The past does not matter. The price, the days on market, whatever it is. Why? Because the intensity is raising so fast that people can't even keep up with it. I need to have this conversation with me, myself first, but also with my clients. Yeah, I mean, there are some markets with $1 million of asking price.
Yeah.
Right? $1 million of asking price. And so we got to be aware of that and have that. Second piece, I got ahead of myself. Number 2, the comps don't matter. Here's all the time. All y'all tell me, what happened to the offer? Well, it wasn't worth it. With multiple offers, but it's not worth it. It's overpriced. Why is that? Because the market's moving faster than I can understand it. And so I have to have this conversation with myself. The clients aren't the problem as big as we're the problem. Because we're the one articulating it. Right? Over and over and over. Most of the deals get blown up because you're trying to be a world saver. All of us in that scenario. Third piece here, super important. But you got to be willing to check your own stories. It's important. Check your own stories. What do you think that means?
Ask yourself if that's really true or not.
I've got to be willing to look at why I'm giving these reasons for it. Oh, it's stinky, it was dirty, it's bad.
Don't sell out of your own pocket.
That's a Joe Perry special right there, right? Don't sell it in your own pocket. If it's a lot of money to you, doesn't mean it's a lot of money's in it. Right? Especially when they're coming from other areas. We tend to do that just because you don't have a lot of money. I see this all the time. Right? People say, well, they shouldn't buy that. Meanwhile, the realtor doesn't even own a house. You know what I'm saying? It happens over and over and over and over again. So you got to be willing to do what? Understand and check my stories and look at the scenario of the people right here in this current situation. And I'm going to do that by the last part here, which is listen to my language. Listen to my language. What do you think that means? We have to reprogram our brains, but every time somebody tells me why the offer didn't get accepted, there's always a story and words that really justify why the property didn't get accepted, that they didn't get the offer. And in some cases, we'll talk about those separately. It could be lender or buyer qualified issues, and that's different. We have to get strategic about that. If I got a buyer who an FHA or VA buyer or whatever it is, they don't have the money to buy right now, guess what? That's a fact of life. What I need to do.
Go hunt for more buyers.
Spend my time hunting down buyers who can buy right now. Doesn't mean I'm not going to help them, but I'm going to prioritize my time to the ones that can buy right now. Why is that? That's just life. Surely going to help everyone I can, but unfortunately, if I've written 7 offers and they can't get any of them, guess what the common denominator is? Right? Their ability to buy, as long as I'm doing my job. Very important piece here. Second piece here, which is kind of in the first version, but this is a different one. Number 2, I got to set hard frames. What do you think that means?
Your first conversation with them needs to be about the reality of the market and showing the data, not just the saying, because that's the thing. I'll hear it a lot where it's, well, I have that reality of the marketplace conversation. I told them this, told them this, told them this, but I never hear a lot of, I showed them. So if you're not showing the data early on and continuously through the showing process, you're going to lose their sense of reality.
Yep. So the number 1 thing I put, which is just part of that, I must be willing to collide. Every one of them. Why is that? They told him it's worth X, Y, Z. He didn't have a way to articulate and fight back on that. He got steamrolled, and guess what happened? He did get the offer. Now, from the outside in, that's not the best value I can provide to my client. You want some, that's the value you provide as a true expert to somebody. So, I have to be willing to collide. What does that mean? Is it uncomfortable? Yes. But it's my duty to collide with my clients right now to make sure they understand what's going on.
A lot of agents do.
100%. Right? You ask them for this, or let's say go out there, hey, look, why is it as is right now? It's been on the market. Go at them a little bit too, but the hardest part is with my clients. Second piece. Story sell. Story sell. What do you think that means?
Third-party stories.
Yes. I have to get very, very, very good at very specific stories that I'm telling my clients about other examples.
Like people closing, if they're worried about overpaying people that are already closed and are, when they come to the closing table, to have equity in their pocket.
Yeah, we'll start with what first? Pain.
Mm-hmm.
Start with pain first. Why is that? Because pain moves. Then I'm going to talk about the people who are coming to close with equity in their pocket. And people who wanted to believe their own stories, but they missed out. And now that's the one that got away from them, and they can't find anything they like. If you don't have one, on Thursday, talk with somebody in this office, and they'll tell you something. Right? Share those stories. They're very important. Why? Because stories sell. People can visualize themselves in that predicament, in that scenario. And my job is to pre-frame them with the story so that we don't have to have it happen in real life. Does that make sense, you guys? Super important that. Third piece, which is all kind of similar, I must have specific examples. Almost like a case study. See this house right here? This is what so-and-so said it was worth $200,000, but it sold for $230,000. They missed out on this house, now they want to go back to it, and they wish like anything they could have paid for that. I need to have specific examples. These are vague stories, third-party stories, and you have examples. Of what? Pain. Yep, any pain story I can get. But I need to have other clients who would not listen to me or somebody on our team to allow them to say, look, this is what happened before. We'll talk about that in a second more. The fourth piece, which I see happen a lot, is I have to be very, very, very good at cross-checking their beliefs.
Like the guy in the open house said he was like 100,000 lower, but I was sitting there telling him, I was like, bro, we already got an offer on this, man.
Yep.
That's the reality of it. Then his whole world changed after that.
Mm-hmm. Just the guy with the ping pong ball?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, look, bro, I can go ahead and tell you right now, you can get this house.
That's exactly what I
Yeah,
said. I
you bring
said $100,000, man. You might go right down on toilet paper.
Yeah.
And turn it into it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be willing. If you guys have all had it, right? Here's the thing. I've done it, you've done it, you've been driving, or we're in the house. So I want you guys to be hyper aware of what their words are coming out, their beliefs, and I gotta be willing to hunt that down and kill it. Ryan's example is really easy because there's an offer $100,000, whatever, there's already an offer on the table. But that's not always going to be the case.
Or the other one, a couple thought the house was too much, saying they love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You know, why do you think the house is too much when I got 20 other people that don't think that?
Yeah. So what do you say? Hey, let me ask you this: what data did you use to make that decision?
And the sad part about it is they're coming to that decision themselves, and the realtor's not there to help them.
Why though?
I guess they don't have somebody.
Nope. Humans always do this. Why do they come to that conclusion?
They want to believe their own story.
It's what they want to believe. Just know your client's always going to come to the natural conclusion of what they want to believe. Always. And so if I know that, I can fight that. And so I've got to be one to cross-check their beliefs. And so what am I doing? I'm listening intently, right? Whatever it is. Because once it starts growing legs, it's going to run all around the room and just kill you over and over. Right? It's very important. Third piece here. And we didn't talk about this before, but I want you guys to get really big on this going forward is opportunity costs. We don't look at this enough. Opportunity costs. What do you think that means?
I got one.
What's that?
The guy waited to buy, he didn't buy, and in the same neighborhood, it costs him to buy right now $80,000. It costs him $80,000.
More. 80,000 more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a perfect example of that. And I want you guys to have that risk versus reward. I see this all the time. Right? I heard this yesterday even. So risk versus reward. Now this won't be the truth all the time forever, but for now it's the truth in terms of the reality market. And you see these neighborhoods with one or two houses available, one sells, what happens to the next house?
Dominoes, and all start selling.
Well, then they're all gone, right? Let's say it sold for $250. Then somebody down the street lists one, what do they do? List it.
They got that going on in my neighborhood now.
Over and over, and everyone sells more for about 30, 40, 50,000 more dollars. Right? And so I need to understand that with my clients. So if it's got some damages and some issues and whatever it is, and I don't feel that I can handle that work on there, what do I do? Baron?
Well,
If it needs too much work and it needs a lot of work, and I feel like this property needs a lot of work, and I'm not really sure here, they want it sold as is and no appraisal, but it needs some work, what do I do?
it's just still buy it anyways, just suck it up.
I got to explain to my clients the opportunity cost, what happens when you do wait for the next one. That's no problem. But the reality is we cannot cover the difference in appraisal, and we can just buy the next one. By the time it does appraise, and now you can pay $40,000 more dollars.
Yeah.
It's up to you. You can pay $6,000 now out of pocket, or $40,000 in the next house.
That's what I told my clients yesterday on that Grand Dunes condo.
Yeah, I mean, if they're buying a Grand Dunes condo, they can make up the difference,
Yeah.
right?
Well, so, it's a $3,000 earnest, which is like, nothing compared to, the price they're paying for it. My guys, it's a gamble, yeah, if it, appraises, you guys are hitting a home run, obviously, but if not, it's, $3,000, you're not, losing 50, whatever, so many thousand cash out of pocket, I'm trying to explain that to them, but I didn't frame it up the right way to begin with, so they already had those limits and beliefs, they were too down the rabbit hole already to really understand that.
Why is that? Because you're believing it too in the front end, right?
Yeah, I was frustrated, yeah.
Yeah, you were perplexed, and they were asking these things. Why do you think these agents are asking for these crazy things right now?
Because they're getting it.
Well, and their sellers are just walking all over them and being order takers, whatever.
They still sell it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They can, right? The reality is that they can do it, right? Jeremy, you're talking about buying that the condo you made an offer on, right? What were you telling me about it?
Well, for example, Man and I both made offers. I started a search for that development exactly 1 year ago yesterday. At that point, they were selling for 60. Now the guy's asking 80. It's a basically 35% increase in 1 year.
And it's going to sell for more than that when they have 20, 30 offers on it.
Yeah, they probably already have 15, 20, 30 offers on it within 2 days. It'll probably go 5 or 10 grand above asking, which is 15 to 20,000 more than what any comp is going for.
And they're not going to even look at offers until when?
I think today.
Yep, 3 days later, 2 days later,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, why do they do that? I told Jeremy this.
Because they have, it doesn't...
They can.
Yeah, I think Bear and I were talking earlier. He's like, why don't you just pull the offer? I said, it doesn't matter.
Bearing the pull offer doesn't matter anymore, right? You got to play the game to win based on what it is right now.
Yeah.
And so, last thing, what I want you to know, Brandon, you go. Ryan, what neighborhood is that you're talking about $80,000?
I use a lot of third-party stories because I've had some good experience with some, but I use a lot of Like if we go to a multiple offer situation and somebody doesn't want to, you know, pay over asking, I give them the Lynn and Barb story. Lynn and Barb paid over asking, and their neighbor decided to put their house up for sale. And next thing you know, they had $30,000 in equity when they came to the closing table.
Yep.
That's exactly what I just got. The girl do 10,000 over appraisal. I said, good, you're gonna be at the high end. There's only 7 homes that have sold in the past 3 years, brand new development. I said, what's gonna happen next is the neighbor's gonna see what you bought it for, and it's gonna be a domino effect until the market stops. And she was like, done.
Yep.
Right. I worked with her for 2 days. First offer.
And she was gonna wait about 6 months, right?
Yeah, she's gonna wait till August.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what you guys do, and so that's what the second piece of this is fear, pain, loss. Fear, pain, loss. Fear, pain, loss. You've got to look at opportunity costs on this. And we'll combine these two. Rising costs. Do you know what the average homeowner in the Horry County Grand Strand or MLS made last year?
22%.
Over $60,000 in many cases. Look at average price. Over 60 grand. So that's about $6,000 a month that the average homeowner made by buying last year. In some cases, if you look at like North Myrtle Beach and other areas, it's way, way bigger. That's including like rural areas and Georgetown and those numbers there, but over 60,000.
I sold a house to, bought it last year for $260. He sold it for, he had it listed for $425, it appraised for $430
Yeah.
in North Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
That was
The house that I did an open house basically for Jeremy that they had listed at $474 that it got off on.
That house is worth $100,000 more now than it was a year ago.
Yeah. So I'm saying.
yeah. I had a lady, I mean, past client or referral, but 2.5 years ago, house in Conway, she paid $240 for it. Just sold it last month for $380 full price.
Yep.
Like, it's
So
insane.
what do you guys need to do? Believe these stories and have these stories and tell them to your clients. And this goes back, I had to reuse this one because it's probably the most powerful thing I had in this last one. I must have the stop conversation about the reality of the market. What I say, John and Mary, we have a conversation right now about the reality of the market. The current reality is blank. Right? You need to make a big deal and make some theater about this. Why? Because it's an emotional buy. We're emotional human beings. We have to understand the importance of things sometimes. Especially when I'm numb and fearful and scared and don't know what's going on. I have to have a true expert who can stop, who can control the energy and the frame of the situation and say, look, John and Mary, it's a really important conversation with you guys right now. We need to have a conversation about the reality of the market. Totally just for what? The frame of opportunity costs, and I'm setting a hard frame of these two together. Every single time this must happen, I'm going to be really shit out of luck. If they live here, great. When do I do it?
Face to face.
Face to face, sitting down. Where I can look them in the eye. Where I can pause and show them that aspect. Super important. Very, very important, that piece. Right? And people don't do this, and we'll talk about this and combine this with why, which is a big, big opportunity cost. Last one. They must show proof. I must show proof. What do you think that means?
I can't just tell them.
Why?
Like, the people that say they can't buy virtually, I can't buy virtually. Those are the people that buy virtually.
Mm-hmm.
So I show
Deeper
I'm
though.
doing my virtuals. I show them the virtual review that they put on Google where they bought virtually and where it says they bought virtually.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. Everyone makes this mistake and they think that this is the number one thing, and I wrote this down, is that people right here at this point, they always cut corners. The reason that salespeople, realtors stay broke is not corners. You have to show proof. This happens on the listing side. A lot of times listing agents, you do a listing presentation, you go through and you show them 2 or 3 comps of what the house is worth, and you expect the client to believe you. They don't. Why? Because they don't trust you. I hear it all the time. You guys think your client loves you, they call me and tell me how terrible they think you are. Right? Why is that? Because it's just the reality of how people operate. They're scared, right? It's an adversarial relationship sometimes, and so in this piece you have to show proof. Meaning they have to see with their own eyes along with what they're hearing from you. But if I cut this corner, which most agents do, I'd say 90% of agents cut this piece out by cutting corners. And it hurts them. It wasn't until I learned this in the listing side. You have to show them overwhelming proof where they ever believe you. Not just enough, not just a little bit, not 3 MLS printouts, the whole data set. So it's overwhelming to them. And they say, okay, wow, because they need the trust inside of them. Right? So the first part, I must show them the data. What is the data?
Market stats, KCM.
Does everyone have access to this data? Yes, it's right in your MLS. Is the first piece. Here's the data. I'm going to show the 12-month history on sales. I'm going to show the 12-month history on prices, and I can even show last month if I want to as well. The last 3 or 4 months have been plateaued a little bit on pricing, but if you watch that list and sale price ratio, it's 100% almost every single one you pick for residential. I have to show them the graph. Why? They have to see the visual to believe you. They don't believe you. Should they believe you? Maybe, but they don't. They're never going to. I'm just telling you, I'm telling you. So many in this room right now because they're cutting corners, getting lazy. It's the same thing with reality market conversation. You want the dominoes to fall easier, you have to have this conversation with them. With data. Now, if they live here, great. If they don't live here, what do I do? Let me go ahead and show you what's happening here in our market so we can make the best, most educated offer. And then what am I doing? Presenting to them the reality of the market through data, but I'm just telling you, they're never going to believe you until you show them.